I saw and what I started feeling. And I knew it was a long shot. This is a huge building, and we weren't looking to expand anywhere. And so I just shared my heart with them, and we actually looked up to find out what was going on with the property, and we found out that it was for sale. And so that was exciting. And we called the realtor, and when we called the realtor, he told us there was actually an offer on the table, and they were about to sign a contract on it that week. And so it was funny because I took that information and I wasn't fazed by it at all. I was like, okay, not a problem. If that's what's supposed to happen, that's what's supposed to happen. And so about a month later, I called the realtor back. Actually, let me back up. I had taken the real estate listing and I put it up on my wall by my desk. And I looked at that picture every day, and I used that just to remind me to pray about this neighborhood and pray that if that was our building, then I knew God would make it happen. And so I had this listing just on my wall right there. And so about a month later, I called the realtor back to see if the deal had gone through, and he said it had. And so I was like, okay, that's no problem. So one Saturday again, I was out in the neighborhood doing Adopt-A-Block still, and I had seen there was a sign on the door of this building, this big white building, and it said, for leasing, contact this number. So I was like, sweet, maybe we could rent a space there and do some type of program. So I remember I called that number and talked to a man, and I just remember kind of fumbling over my words. I didn't really know what God had for this. I didn't really know what I was asking for, but I just said, hey, my name's Kristen. I'm with the Arkansas Dream Center. We have fallen in love with this community and would love to just maybe have a space where we could serve this community better. Would you be interested in maybe renting a space to us? And he said, yeah, sure. He was like, I'd love to meet with you guys. Y'all come down and we'll meet and look around at the building. So I remember telling Drew about this and getting him on board to come with me because he's the real estate guy. And I remember when we walked into this building, I just felt the Holy Spirit telling me just to keep my mouth shut, just let Drew handle this, and just to walk around. And so I remember walking through these hallways. It was dark, there wasn't any power on, and I just was flooded with vision of what this building could be, of what this place could be, and how it could really bring life to this community. And at the end of that conversation, I remember us about to walk out the door, and I'm just hoping we can rent a room. There's 24 classrooms in this building, so I'm hoping we can rent one room. And I remember Drew saying to the owner, hey, what would you consider selling this building to me? I remember my jaw just dropped because I was hoping we could rent one room, and here's our director like catching the vision and thinking, wow, what could this be? And asking, could we own this building? Could we purchase this building? And I remember the owner just looking at him and saying, you know what, let me talk to my business partners and I'll get back with you. And I was just shocked. I was like, what is happening right now? What's going on? And so we left that day, and as we were leaving, Drew and I were talking, and he's like, if the businessman comes back, if the owner comes back and he offers us X price, then I know that this is from the Lord, because we had someone donate earlier in the year this set amount of money for a purchase that we had no expectations of making a purchase this year. So this had already been provided. And so I remember that night I was at a Bible study that I was leading, and I got a call back from the owner, and sure enough, he offered this property for that amount of money that Drew had said. If I know it's that amount of money, then I know it's from God. And I was just floored at what God was doing through this whole thing. And so long story short, we got to purchase the building, and we've seen how God used it in this neighborhood, not only in this neighborhood, but how it's drawing other neighborhoods in, and it's providing places for our staff to expand. And now we have places where we can record stories, and we have places where kids come after school, and we're doing so much more than just what an Adopt-A-Block could do at that time. And I tell you this big story just to bring it back to before that. I went through a really long season. I went through a year and a half of being at the Dream Center, not knowing what my purpose was. Even though I had a job here, I didn't know what my purpose was, what my vision was in that. But I chose to stay faithful to the Lord and to serve people. And as I was faithful in serving, God started bringing this new, fresh vision. And I look now what God has done through just that 1 year of just being committed, blindly committed to serving people, and see the story that He's painted from that. And it's just amazing. It blows me away every time I think about it. I sit in the office where I remember looking in the windows one day, and now I sit in an office and I watch tons of kids coming in this building, new families coming in, people being served, people getting food, people getting clothes, our staff having a home base, and it just amazes me what God will do through faithfulness, through serving and obedience. So I just want to encourage you in that. If you're going through a season where you don't know what your vision is, where you don't know what your purpose is, hold on, pursue the Lord, and just be faithful to serving people. Do that, and He can do so much through that.